Our guest today is used to being ahead of the curve. He got his first ATP point at 14, won a challenger at 16. At 22, he was world number 6 and winning Davis Cup for Canada. Now 25, he just got married and he's starting to show a little more personality on court. Felix Auger-Aliassime, welcome to the Changeover. Welcome to the Changeover Podcast. My name is Justin Roberts, and my co-host over there is Jody Maginley. Today, we got a guy who seems to be in a rush with life. I mean, the first time I heard this guy's name, he was 14 years old, beating up on my dear friend Darian King at the Granby Challenger. He's already been top 10 in the world, winning ATPs, Davis Cup champion. He's got a pretty cool foundation. He's around the world trying to save lives, bring education to the people. Married by 25. I mean, we have the great Felix Auger-Aliassime on the show today. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jody. I mean, great to be on the show. Yeah, I've seen what you guys been doing. It's good to promote tennis in that way. I think we all share the same passion for the sport, same love for the sport. So always good to chat about, what we do and, how we can make things better, for sure.
Before we get there, brother, I see your wedding photos being posted by Vogue magazine. I see you tagging like Dior and all these people in the things. Like, what's going on there? It's a play there, or you got paid for the wedding? Like, what's the vibe there?
No, trust me, I had to pay more than I got paid. You try to get anything, free that you can, when you're planning such an event. But to be serious, I mean, yeah, it was quite a process. I have to get credit to her. She did most of the work as I was busy playing, and traveling. Yeah, but congrats. It was quite a process, and then you try to see how you can make it the best day possible, the best event possible. And then, I partnered with Dior myself a couple years ago for a year. They were like suiting me up for events. So I had the connection there. And I thought, who better to suit me up for the big day, for the wedding day. So that came, pretty
I don't blame you.
They were really nice in the process. Shout out to them. They were really, really good. So, obviously, you have to do what you need to do, tag, promote, and thank the people that help, obviously.
For sure.
It looked like a good time, bro. Congrats again.
Congrats.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Event of a lifetime.
Was the wife happy?
Yeah, she was. Everyone was. And most importantly, she was. And I was too on the same level. So, yeah, a lot of planning into it, but at the end, so worth it. Like, to have, we had about 120 people, but to have everyone there at the same time, it's kind of once in a life. We have families from everywhere in the world, so to have everyone and people I haven't seen, friends, cousins I hadn't seen for years, and to just bring everybody together, it was special. Like, we'll remember forever.
So clear this up for us. We've been having debates on the circuit about the funniest guy on the Canadian, let's say, Davis Cup team. I'm hearing a lot of people in the Alexi Galano camp, but I've heard a few guys in the Gab Diallo camp. Who are you siding with?
Yeah, they all have their moments.
Okay, so it's not that
different types of humor.
Moments.
Yeah. Like, for all my life, Alexi's a close friend. Like, we met, we were kids, like 6, 7, and all my life he's been the funniest friend like I've had, around me. So it's no different when it comes to wherever he is, in any team or any circle he is. He's always the funny guy, but he's always sarcastic. He's always like second degree type of humor. Like, so that's his thing. And like him and I, like, we rarely talk serious. Like, I don't think there was ever like I think once I can, recall now, like one conversation, like in a car ride, like coming back from practice where we had one serious conversation. But if not, it's always messing around, joking. So he's probably the funniest. But Chapo also has got his moment. Like Chapo is a funny guy. He doesn't take himself too seriously. So what's funny with Chapo is he'll just like say whatever's on his mind. Like he's a zero filter type of guy. And even more in like a Davis Cup environment where we're all like, we know each other well for years, it's just zero filter. So we get funny moments. And Gab also in a similar way. Like he just says what's on his mind and he's pretty straight up about it. So but everybody's got good energy.
I find Alexi's humor to be very like subtle. Like you don't expect it, he'll like make a face or make like a phrase or something. It's like, because at first I was like what Justin was saying, bro, I don't, because everyone's saying how funny Alexi is, and I was like, bro, Alexi's just a very nice guy, but I don't see him to be that funny. But then I played a bunch of tournaments with him this summer, and I texted Justin and said, bro, like I see it, like I see you.
I see it now. When you get to spend time with him, you definitely see it.
Brother, Alexi, okay, so we give him the funny man, but he's definitely not the best dancer. I saw a story post of Diallo when they won the Davis Cup tie, post Alexi dancing to what's the Charlie Puppy's Lao, and that was not good. So who got the best moves? Include guys like Mwamba. Like who from the clique has the best moves, you think?
Yeah,
like at the wedding, for example, who get down the
wedding.
best?
At the wedding, in the case, Mwamba. That's my guy also. Yeah, day one. Yeah. Okay. There's something about rhythm, like you either have it or you don't, right? Like nobody teaches you like
Alexi does not have
how to dance. No. And then you see your friends quickly, like, and you see the ones that need many drinks before they get to the dance floor, and then there's the ones that with just a glass of water they're up there on the dance floor. So like Nikes, it's been like, I remember we used to go to like under 14, under 12 like group competitions and like World Cups, and we'd always end up like the first ones dancing, like him and I. So it was like we just lock eyes, on the dance floor. We just lock eyes, like this is the song, So and Gab as well, Diallo as well. Diallo loves to dance.
Diallo does. Yeah.
So we like growing up, a bunch of like house parties we've had, and he was always also up for dancing. So
I'm seeing a common denominator there. I don't have to point it out too tough, but I'm seeing a.
Stop it right now.
I know where you're going.
We can leave it right there. Shout out to the boys. Brother. So as we mentioned, first time we would have heard your name was that Granby where you took out there. I think you made quarters at 14. You pretty much look like a grown man since then. Like you were serving huge, hitting the ball big. Like, very curious. What was life like growing up? Like, how did you get to that point so quick? Like, what was the upbringing like? What was life like from, I don't know, when you started until you were 14? Like, how intensive was it? And I know you got an African dad, so I'm sure it wasn't always easy out there,
Yeah, I'll get into that, but I mean, it's crazy first to look back on those videos like at 14, 15, like I was just about to turn 15, and it was like, so pretty much, it was 10 years ago. Day for day, it was 10 years ago. And like this year, like it popped up and I was seeing those clips, and like at the time, I had to get a walkout in qualies, I show up, I play, and I win some matches, but I don't think like much of it, like obviously I knew it was big, but like I was like, okay, well if I have the level to win, I guess I win, and then I go on with like my junior tournaments, and that's it. And then now at 25, thinking like playing a 14, 15-year-old, first of all, like playing and then losing, like, and it's not because of where I'm at, like in terms of ranking or my career, it's simply like being 25
as a man.
Old he was, but he was probably around 25. Losing to a 15-year-old. No, I don't know what I would do. So like that's tough. And now I'm like, I was crazy. Like I laugh at myself, you know, seeing those videos, how crazy it was, like the level I was playing. And then to your question, like how I got there, well, yeah, tough to say. Like it was really like there was a big change, like from one year to another. I mean, I was good, like because in Canada we have by province. Like I was always good in my province, you know, with Alexi and Case, all those guys. I mean, we kind of always battle with each other, like. But it was always kind of like 3 of us, 4 of us that were a bit ahead of the rest of the guys. And then in Canada as well with Dennis and other guys from other provinces. And then, yeah, like under 12, we're all good. But for me, I entered the National Center that we have in Montreal a year before I had that breakthrough. And that's really when like things started shifting in terms of like training, physical training. Like I think my dad always gave me like the right discipline and the right like work ethic, because I like to say that like tennis in my house was not like, for my dad, like it's still his number one passion today. Like he that's all he thinks about. He has an academy back home and he loves tennis. And then so growing up, like tennis kind of saved my dad's life in his mind, you know, like it took him out of like, it gave him an opportunity to be like, okay, this is what I'm good at. And when he came to Canada in the late 90s, I gave him like the real first job opportunities, you know. Before that, he was doing any job he could get, you know, minimum wage. But then after, like he met some people, and that's really when like he got some really good opportunities through tennis. So he's always been like thankful to that sport and grateful that, you know, tennis is in his life. And so to me, he gave my sister and I that passion very young. And so, like, I remember being 6, 7, and it was like, okay, yeah, you see tennis on TV, you see Wimbledon, Grand Slams, and you think, like, tell my dad, like, yeah, I want to play there one day. But he wasn't one of those parents that was like, my kid's just dreaming, you know, like, let him just play for fun and let's see how far it goes. Like, you know, maybe he can go to college. My dad was like, okay, you want, like, that's where you want to go? Like, it was like a conversation, like, as a kid. I was a kid, and he was talking to me, like, and I remember, like I have a vivid memory, like, we're on the court, and he's showing me the line, you know, like, whatever line, let's say, like, the middle line, and he's like, so this is the line, this is where you need to go, and he's like, sometimes you'll shift, and he's like, I'm here to take you back, you know? And it was like, okay.
Discipline.
I'm here to take you back. And I was like, all right. And like, I was probably 9. And so, yeah, it became like kind of a mission, you know, like from a young age, really. It was like, okay, we're going to do this. And so everything was put in place to be the best player possible. And then, like, my mom was a great balance in all of that, because my dad was very intense with tennis. But in the right way, like, he wasn't, I will never say like it was negative in any way. He was fair. Anytime that he was tough on me, like, I think it was deserved. But yeah, he was good. But my mom, really not coming from sports at all, gave me like a whole different perspective, you know, on life and other things. Like, I think if both my parents were as intense into the sport, it would have been just different, maybe still good, but yeah, like my mom made me discover other things, so it was fun, you know, growing up as well, not just that. And then yeah, so like through my, you know, kids years before I was a teenager, just playing a lot every day, tournaments, and then obviously like winning helps, you know, because you're like 8 and you're like winning 8, 9 years old, you're winning like provincial tournaments, you know, you go deep every tournament you play, so you find success and you find like you enjoyment in that. And then one turning point was like 11. I go play this tournament called Auray, like in France. It was like the best under 12s. Like every federation would bring in the best under 12s, and then Alexi was there, other guys were there, Benjamin Seguin and Victor Khrushchev, all these guys, and then eventually won the second year I went. So this was like, okay, coming back to my club back home, it was like big news, you know. It was like, because every generation of kids under 12, like they would just go there, but nobody, or rarely, like any Canadians would win. So from that point on, like it was like, okay, like and that was just like a couple years before, you know, that Darian King match that we mentioned before. So that's kind of like when things started clicking, and then some years were not as good, but I was always, you know, I guess a step ahead with a few of these other Canadian guys. And then as a teenager, 14 to 16, then really things changed.
Bro, I heard Nick Case was the truth back in the day, like under 12, under 14. That's true?
Yeah, well, he was ahead of me. Like he definitely was ahead of me, because when we both, like, we were always together. Like when I said before it was my guy, like we now, like thinking about memories, like every tournament we played, he was always there. Like you know, under 14, juniors, whatever. And so when we went to Les Petits As in Tarbes, I actually, like, he was ahead of me. Like I lost third round, he made semis, he lost to the winner. But like coming back home, and you know how it works, but like in the you know, federation and like the academies, like he was the one, like he was getting interest from Nike, and like, you know, I wasn't. And it was like he, you know, if you ever have him on the pod, he can tell his side of the story, but he was ahead. He was definitely ahead.
Big up, Mwamba.
So I have a question. So you talked about, you know, that little, I guess, mini breakthrough when you were like around 11 in France, and then you had this other one against Darian. But like, at what point did you know that you were like exceptional? Because there were, you know, there are people who are pretty good in juniors, and then you think that they have potential to be a pro or whatever, or be a good player when they, you know, develop and stuff. But there's not many people who are like under 15s beating guys who are, you know, top 200 in the world. So like, at what point did you know you were exceptional? Did that Darian King match change or enlighten you at all, or that week in Granby, or did you already have that feeling before?
Well, I had the feeling that I could play good tennis, but like, to be honest, the mentality growing up was like, you're never really good enough. Like, you know, like I wasn't, like people, or even you're saying now, like exceptional, or like, I remember, like getting attention from like, journalists and media, and like, and also like respected people in tennis, you know, tweeting at the time when I was 14, 15, like, oh, watch out for this, for that. But in my mind, I'm like, this can all stop tomorrow, really. Like, I was never, looking back almost sometimes, like my dad wanted me to be very humble. I was maybe almost sometimes a bit too humble in a way. Like, in a way that, like, you know, on a one-on-one sport, like when you go on the court, you need to feel like you're the best player, and you need to feel that you're not going to lose today, basically. But it took me a while to have that attitude. It was always like, everybody's so good, you know, I can always have like a bad day. I need to, you know, respect my opponent. I need to. And so that's why I say, you know, it took me a bit of time to find that balance of humility and also a bit of arrogance, you know, that you need to be good, you know, in such a high level sport. So I never thought I was exceptional. Like at 15, 16, I was just trying to improve. Honestly, I was just trying to play, and then results came. Sometimes other guys were having results too. Like Chapo was, you know, ahead of me at times, and it was good growing up. Like all this generation, I feel like, you know, 2000, 99, 98, like it was really competitive. Like if you look at our draws, like in juniors, I mean, a lot of guys made it big time.
And do you think that this, I guess, mentality you had removed the room for like expectations? Because like you said, you know, journalists tweeting and writing stories and stuff saying, look out for this player, blah, blah, blah. But like for you, if you have that mentality, you think that takes away the expectation, and that way you don't have to think about that stuff? And how do you manage that?
It didn't remove it. It didn't remove it. I still felt it. And it came really young. And it was a process to learn how to, you know, to not look at it, because you're always going to hear it or see it. I don't think it's the right way to how to say, like, for like an education of like a young kid, it's not the right way to just be like, oh, act like it's not there, because you're gonna see it at some point. It's better to just prepare yourself to it. So for me, it was like, okay, to learn how to like thank the people that are saying good things, but then like learn how to, it's like the most important is to go back to work and whatever is gonna happen the next day. But yeah, sometimes the way I felt it was like I would get frustrated with certain results that normally I should never get frustrated, like not because I did something exceptional like a year before. That like, let's say that the next year when I came to Granby, I lost to Sekou Bangura, first round, But like, probably it's okay to lose that match. Like, it's not like a bad loss, but it felt like, oh, well, if I was 14 and made quarterfinals, then next year, in my mind, I was like, well, I should do better and better and better and better always. But, the road is not always like that. Like, only for maybe not even any guy, like, it has a straight road to the top, like, maybe one or two. So that's kind of like how I felt it for me, the expectations, how it affected me sometimes.
And these days, so a year like this year,
yes,
it almost seemed like up until the semifinal run at US Open that you were having a bad year, quote unquote. But if you look at it, you final the 500 in Dubai, you win 250s, like.
Yeah.
But most people's standards, like, that's probably like a career year. It's like, wow, the guy's like doing unreal. But like, based on like media coverage, whatever, it feels like what's going on with Felix. What do you pay attention to? Like, how are you judging yourself, and what are the things that are important to you? Because I remember like there was a stretch there, like Indian Wells, Miami, and then kind of through the clay, the grass, it wasn't really clicking. Like, what are you focusing on to sort of, I guess, get back to that line that your dad talked about when you were coming up?
Yeah. Well, no, it was already, even before the US Open, it was already a better year than the last few ones. Like, let's say I had my best year in 2022. And before that, it was always like the year was always better than the previous one. So, I was always improving year after year from the first year I made, or even my first ATP points, really, like ups and downs throughout the year, but like always better and better. But I had to learn, that, you get to a higher ranking and you want it to keep going. And I didn't really have injuries until then. But then, I had to learn, like everyone, that, it's different to always go up. And then the year that your ranking goes down, and then to come back up, it's more challenging in many ways. So I had to learn that over the last few years. But this year, I'm the best shape of my life, I have to say. At least, since the start of the year. So it already feels better than other years where I was really struggling. And so I came out, to Australia playing great right away, moving well, feeling good, beating Fritz in United Cup, winning title. Tough loss in 5 sets, second round, but it's like, with the level today, this will happen, once in a while. It's just like unseeded players being, really tough in some draws. But the year was good, and then I had a bit of a slump, like, on clay. But it was just more focusing on, like, okay, tactical things, transitioning to the clay and how to, play the right way for me. And I had just a few tight losses that sometimes they go your way and then you go further in the draw, but those didn't go my way. But I didn't panic too much. Honestly, I was really just, I was annoyed. Obviously, I was pissed at those results, like losing first round of French. It was a really tough moment. But, talking with the team, people that I've had, a long time in my life, and just remembering what helps me was the right way to approach my game, what to train. And then from the grass, I felt like I was playing really good level again. So let's say the semifinal in New York was just kind of like a culmination of all this work throughout the year. Like, I felt like I had that in me for sure.
How good are you at dealing with the time between tournaments? So like now the 2-week Masters or 12-day Masters or whatever, let's say you lose early in Miami and you have to wait 8-9 days, whatever it is, to play the next match in wherever the next tournament is. How much is that affecting your ability to be regular Felix off the court? Like, how tied are you to your results, like as a person off the court?
Depends on times, because when you have, like, let's say a lot of wins behind you, you feel like, okay, one loss and then you can deal with it better. But when they start adding up, you start. I mean, this is my whole life. Like, this is what I do, and so obviously it starts affecting your mind outside of the court as well. Luckily, I have a really good life outside of tennis, like very balanced in a way that, like, not all the conversations around me in my personal life revolve around tennis. So, like, I always tell my parents, even when I'm going through a tougher time on the court, like, don't worry, like, my life is good. Now married, been together for 6 years, and then.
Man, 25, bro. Jeez, bro.
That's crazy. And then my friends, everybody. So, like, I always tell them, like, my life is good. Like, if, let's say, anything you want for your son is, like, that he's happy, like, I'm happy. It's just that I need to figure out, like, what's happening on the court. But that's another topic that I need to figure out. And I take a lot of accountability. I've never liked to put the responsibility on others, or, like, because as a tennis player, like, you have your coach, you have people around you, physio, fitness coach, but ultimately you hire these people. And so if I'm not happy with somebody, I have the power to change them. So it's not like you're in a basketball, or football, like, club, and then, like, you don't really have the power over that. You can change your staff, you can change your racket, you can do whatever you need to do. So change your string. So I always take accountability, like, I need to figure it out, and I have the solutions, like, deep within myself. But now with the 2 weeks events, it was tough to deal with at the beginning. Obviously, we're used to Indian Wells, Miami, and now that they're, like, the whole year, it was a bit strange at first, especially if you lost early. You're like, what do? I go play a challenger. I just rest. I practice. How much do I practice? But now, like, it's been, maybe 2 years now that they've been doing it more. And and I'm more used to it. And I try to not always be worried also too much. I gotten better with not worrying about, like, the results and practices. I try to really be focused on what I'm trying to put in place for this tournament and the rest of the season, and kind of the improvement of my game. And then if I do that, I'm happy with my day. And I go back, and I think younger for sure, like the first years on tour, 2019, 2020, like, it felt like if I'm not winning the practice set the day before the tournament, like, I'm in trouble. It was like, I'm worrying so much. I'm like, this is not good. But now, like, it doesn't matter as much anymore, to be honest.
Bro, before the Zverev match in the US Open, he said something to the effect of, like, either Felix is really on or he's really off. And watching you over the years, it does kind of seem that way, whereas like you'd be, like, hot for, like, so like a couple times at the end of the year, like, you started to, like, win these indoor events, and, like, you look, like, crazy, like, clean. But then other times in the year, you might look like the errors are coming, like, in bunches.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, we watched you play this year in Miami against Musetti, and I think maybe you got a little bit hurt in this match. I saw your leg was taped.
Yeah, it was hurt. Yeah, it was hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, the match was going, and you were, like, playing pretty well, and then a moment came where it was like two errors a game, and it was like it happened quick. What do you think it is with you that, like, when the level is there, it's like it's there, and then when it's not, it seems like the error count just kind of gets out of hand a little bit?
Well, it was first. It's due to, like, my style of play. Okay. Obviously, I mean, we're talking about when I was younger, like earlier, playing these matches like at 14. The thing is like the way I was taught to play was not really to like just put balls in the court. Like it was really like you take any opportunity that you can to really hurt your opponent, and especially with the forehand, like you try to move around and play with it and take any chance to go forward and hit hard. So I would lose to guys, when you're a kid, like if you have that style of play and you don't really control what you do, I mean, I would take bad losses like against guys that were just pushing the ball in the court, obviously. And my dad believed that, okay, as I would get cleaner with my technique and just more reps and get used to that way of playing, that this would pay off in the future. So when I arrived on tour, for me, like when I would play my best, even at 18, 17, 16, I had the ability to play quick and to come really and to be really aggressive at times, even if under pressure, that it felt normal to me to play at that speed. But sometimes it didn't feel normal to a lot of players. But that also comes with a risk factor that, when you're not feeling as well or you're not moving as well or, you're not as, clean technically for whatever reason, or the conditions, that, I don't know, like can be windy or like slower conditions, then, errors can come. But I've learned to be okay with that, because the problem was always everybody would say that, like, and I was aware of that too. And if you put yourself in my mind, it's like, okay, this is how I can play my best, right? Like, and as a player, what matters is it how good you can play or how bad you can play. Like, it's a real question, that I had many times. Is like, do I have to be more consistent, or do I want to like push my game forward? That maybe like eventually one day I will kind of, become better at controlling all of this and be really, really at a high level. So all growing up, I turned 25 this year. So all like my teenage years, it was always about that, like pushing forward, and making my technique more clean throughout the years, so that like less errors would come under pressure. And then I was always going for more consistency. And so in 22, it was like, okay, finally, like I was able to make quarters of many Masters in a row. So it was like, okay, I was losing to top players, but I felt like, okay, there's some consistency that's coming. And then finally at the end of the year, I had that run where it was like, well, 16 wins in a row, I was like, that's some consistency, It's not sinner consistency, but it's some consistency that is like, I can build
that's
on
AI,
that.
Bro. Don't worry. That's
like
that's
like that. Different. I was like, okay, I can, maybe if I keep doing that, I can, I can be up there like with everyone and the best players. And then, so yeah, and then like injuries and stuff. So like it was building nicely, and then it was just like a tough stretch. I mean, I don't want to go all into it in details, but basically, yeah, I'm well aware, but I've kind of decided over the years that, okay, I'll accept some bad days over like putting balls in the court. Like I can, like if you hit with me in the middle, or like if I go at a certain speed, like I won't make stupid mistakes. Like I'm not like, but it's just that I try to play, aggressive and at a high level. And I believe that if I get better at it, results will come out of that.
You spoke about tactics earlier, and when I watched you play now, I think twice in person, but I think it was 2023 Miami Open. You were playing Thiago Monteiro. I don't know if you remember this match, but
that was one of those.
Yeah. So the match starts, and I'm looking, and I'm like, like he's like, you play with more shape than I expected. Like I was like, I don't know. I thought I was gonna like come watch a Felix match, and it was gonna be like what I remember, like maybe like from like watching you play Darren, whatever. It's like boom, boom, boom. But I felt like it looked to me I was sitting high up too, so maybe it's not the best vantage point, but it looked to me like you were trying to like I don't know, not play slow, but like maybe the confidence to like really just take the ball on and just do what you do and like really just control the match wasn't really there. It looked like you were maybe playing that game with yourself where it's like, where is the line? Like, what volume am I gonna play at? Am I gonna play at fully on and I'm just gonna go crazy, or am I gonna play, like in a lower volume and like not miss and like maybe like having this battle internally with yourself? Is that accurate or not really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I remember like the match. I remember the score. I think it was 7-6, 7-6 for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't like remember. I just remember that like in the process of like, finding the best compromise. Like I was in the middle of like, I did this weird thing that week. Like I've always played it with a dampener, like my whole life.
Okay.
And I lost to Carlos in quarters of Indian Wells.
Uh-huh.
And it was like at night. It was kind of cold, and Carlos was playing crazy aggressive. Like, I play aggressive. I play fast. I play aggressive. But like, he's one of those guys that like, he'll match that and go over it. Like that is like, he's doing what I want to do at a better level or quicker and more precise, right? So I felt like that after the match, and I was kind of annoyed, and I was like, well, what can I do? And I was like, I was not getting the pop that I want on the ball. So I was playing around with my strings in between the and I removed the dampener, and my string was like, don't worry, like it doesn't change the tension. And the ball was flying, my friend.
Okay.
So in practice, it felt amazing. I remember practicing with Fritz and other guys, and I was like feeling good, hitting well. But then when the match came and with the tension and everything, the first few shots, I was like, no, this is bad. Like, I can't control the ball. Like, and never in my life.
So I'm not stupid, but I'm seeing what I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah, you probably, all right. I mean,
like you're holding back a little bit, like
really struggling.
Yeah.
So it was 6-6, but like in my mind, the way I remembered it was like, it wasn't like a clean. It wasn't like high level 6-6. It was like a lot of mistakes because, it was just I did this change and I was struggling. Yeah. And actually towards the end, I don't know. I think maybe that was the round after. The round after, like I put my dampener back like late in the second set, like a breakdown. I was like, I'm done with it. But with Thiago, it was like I was still serving good because like I don't know, it felt like the strings were so loose, so I was still serving okay. But in the rallies, I was really, and also Miami can be hot and like bouncy, so I was like really struggling to find my game. I was trying to like slow it down and play with more spin, like you said.
It looked careful. Is the word I would use.
Correct.
Like you're trying to be careful. Exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't confident with my racket that week at all. So that was a mistake. But you see, like those are the things that over the years, like I don't regret trying things. Like over the years, technically, some things people can see, some things people cannot see. But I've tried different things on all my shots, and on my position on the return, and then like on my serve technique and with my strings, like so never like afraid to try things and see how it goes, and I don't have regrets over it. But for sure, if somebody came to see me, maybe it wasn't like the version they were expecting. But now I feel like I can say more and more that like, okay, it was nice to come in early on tour. I got to try many things from 18, and now I'm finding my the right balance.
Imagine thinking like, what's going on for Felix today, and like, oh, don't worry, he just doesn't have his dampener.
Yeah, because I was like, bro, he looks like he's not hitting the ball. Like I don't know what is going on. He looks like he's just like tickling it, and it's just like these long rallies. Like, what's going on?
For me, it's the sound. Like, if you don't have a dampener, it sounds bad to me. Like, I don't like how it sounds.
Yeah, the sound, and like it feels like you get more of that trampoline effect. I don't
know. When
never again.
U.S. Open
never
this
again.
year. I didn't watch all the matches, I'm not going to say that. But I saw the match point against Rublev, and you hit the backhand line. And I think it's like pretty close in the end of in the fourth set, whatever it was. And I was like, no, this guy is confident again. Like, to go and take a match point like that, like that's a different tennis than you were playing there against Thiago. It was like, you looked much more like sure of yourself. Like the dampener was in. Yeah, the dampener was locked. Can you break down a couple of those matches? So maybe that Rublev match and the Sinner match. Like, what do you feel like the tactical matchups are there with you going up against Rublev there in that match?
So the first thing, the match point, he kind of. I remember, I was stretched out to my backhand defense backhand, like after. Was I serving or returning? I'm not sure, but anyway, remember, just second shot on the point, stretched out. I'm able to defend to his backhand, so he's kind of really close to the singles line there, and he doesn't hit it with so much quality back to my backhand, and is fully open down line. And the moment I just but as soon as I connected the ball, I was I started walking forward.
And you gave you gave a look to your team
I knew it was good.
That's me.
For sure, that's a good feeling. But the Rublev match, I was coming off the win with Zverev, so it was that first match in the Slam that you played a third seed. You're okay, that's the first, obviously, big test. I didn't play seeded players before that, so it's the first big test. And then if you win that match, then the challenge for the next one is to back it up, So that was obviously the challenge coming to the Rublev match. And Rublev and I, we've always had battles. If you look, maybe outside of one match this year in Hamburg, but always 3 sets. Sometimes I have match points, break up in the third. I lost so many of those. But I do feel that the level I played the other night, I can win. So the tactic was similar. It was okay, well, I can't if I let him play and give him time, he's even more aggressive than many guys, and so he'll take his chance and he won't shy away from it. And where maybe with Zverev I was mixing up a little bit more the spins with slice, and with Rublev I didn't want to do that because you give him a bad slice in the middle of the court or you don't really hit his backhand, he goes around quickly and he's not afraid to rip the forehand inside in, or back, inside out behind you. So the tactic was really no, don't mix up too much. Try to make him move because he has really good quality when, his feet are set. But, but like a lot of players, what I'm saying is not groundbreaking, but it's with him especially because he's so good, you have to be careful not to give him time to set his feet. So it was always keep him on the move. And so I started with that. It's okay, you're going to make a few mistakes, maybe early in the match, but 3 out of 5, you feel okay, once I'm able to connect a few and get confidence that the match goes on, that my tactic is working. And it did. And I actually got into the match, pretty decent. And 3 sets for me, so it was pretty clean. And I obviously served well throughout the whole match. So, I was able to always keep him on the move. And then, once I do that, I feel I have the upper hand. And then it's about keeping that until the end. Because so many times, like I said, I was doing that against him. 3rd set, I'm up a break, and then he just releases, he just goes for even more back against the wall. And I end up in a tiebreak. And I'm
he puts his dampener in.
Yeah. Where did that come? So I didn't want to let that one slide. And when I saw I was up 2 sets, I was I gotta keep the pressure. And it was a bit of a tight moment in the 3rd set. He had chances to break back, but it was a big game to hold, and then served it out well.
Hey guys, quick break from the episode. The best way to support us is to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the episode.
The Sinner match, I lost bad in Cincy, and we hadn't played in 3 years, not even a practice.
Really?
So it's funny, yeah. Like we hadn't, for some reason, we
Before
never.
Cincy.
Yeah, like we played in Cincy. We played twice in 2022 in Madrid and Cincy, and then we
That's
didn't
a
play.
whole new motherfucker right there, boy. This man.
That's what I mean.
He
So
acting
then,
different, boy.
for 3 years, we didn't play. We didn't practice once. I was on the sideline a bit, obviously, and so like I was seeing obviously the results. I'm watching tennis, but to not feel his ball like once for 3 years, it was like you said, it's a different player. So it's like when we stepped on court, it was like not that I was like unaware of like what he was capable of, but it was just like how fast he played, how deep the returns were, like off my second. So it put so much pressure on me that I was like, and the rounds before I was kind of like, you know, more aggressive than the guys, and I was kind of pacing myself through matches. Like I played that week, I played Echeverry, played Rinderknecht and Bonzi, so obviously having more time, free returns, all that, and then I didn't get any of that for like the first set, literally 6-love, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust, like for sure. But it was almost felt like too late.
Find a second Dampener.
Yeah, one at the top, you know. So,
but did you know? Did you know that was gonna happen? Like, did you, like, obviously you're not blind to it. Like, you know that he's better at certain things than other players. So, like, before the match, were you like, maybe stressing is not the wrong word, but were you like paying attention to the fact that you're not gonna get as many like unreturnables and the return's gonna come back with certain quality and depth and like direction and stuff? Like, did you keep that in mind going into the match, or you were just preparing like for like any other match?
No, I was aware, but honestly, it's different to be aware and to actually like experience it. And then also I think, you know, US Open still had, you know, bad first set, or like score wise, like I lost badly, but it was way more competitive. Like it was a 6-1, but it was like I had break chances, you know, like I got into return games. It was way more competitive. But in Cincy, the 2 weeks before, yeah, I don't think I was ready enough, you know, or at least in terms of like my tactical plan. So I think I prepared better. I mean, obviously, I didn't even watch the Cincy match, to be honest. Like, I didn't watch that again. I wasn't like, yeah, I'm not going to hurt myself watching this. But in terms of like, yeah, having that experience 2 weeks ago of like, you know, what pace he plays and what intensity, I think I was more prepared. And I really wanted to match that from the beginning. Because like, I wasn't really matching that in Cincy at all. And so I was matching that from the beginning, but he came out so clean. Like, I don't know anybody. And if you watch matches, like often he breaks like first game of the match. Like, I don't remember, watching like some of the greats even, like they wouldn't start off like that, you know, like as the match goes on, obviously I feel like Rafa and Novak, it was always like as the matches went on, like they got so good. But like him, it's like how he starts the matches. He starts like it's like normal, you know, like no tension whatsoever. So he still came out hot, but I felt like middle of the first set, we had a tough game on his serve, and I was like, okay, I'm finding things here. Like he's making a couple of mistakes, maybe he's doubting a little bit, and so I kind of brought that energy or that mindset into the second set, and I started for the first time in like the 3 sets that we played, combining Cincy and the first set in New York, like making like unforced errors and like doubting a few shots and like you know, having like forehands in the middle of the court and missing. And I was like, so it encouraged me a little bit. Kept pushing him. Also, I think there's also maybe credit to my tactical plan or how I was playing. I think I was maybe making him doubt because, you know, of how quickly I was stepping into every ball that was short or trying to come to the net, mixing a few serve and volley. So yeah, like the plan worked out well. I executed well in the second set. and then I was suffering after physically for a bit in the third. It was unfortunate because, you try to keep that momentum as long as you can in a Grand Slam match. Like, if you have a good set, you try to keep it as long as you can. Obviously, if you can win another one, there's going to be ups and downs at some point, but you just try to keep it as long as you can. And then I wasn't really able to physically. And so, yeah, and it kind of went his way. Then after, it was difficult. Fourth set, good level again. Like, cramps kind of going away. And then I had some chances, like, at the start. But still, the tactical plan remained the same. Like, it didn't really change, like, because it's not like it's not a type of guy that you're thinking, like, okay, at some point in the match, I'm going to, like, slow things down, or, like, I'm going to give him time. Like, you just always have to take time away from him. You have to keep him on his heels at all times. So the tactical plan is kind of simple. It's more just like, how good can you play for how long, really?
So there's no like safe spot in the court, and like the guys backhand and forehand can attack with both, defense well with both. Tactically, is it just taking time from him and trying to spread the court as much as you can and trying to knock volleys off? Is it just having to play really good points over and over and over and over again? Because, like, I don't really see when I watch him play, like there's no hole, but where's the weak spot? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, just the first shots are really important. You need to obviously serve well, because regardless of your game, like, even if you're, I don't know, like Dampener, or even if you're like Rublev, or you're like Zverev, like, plays differently, you have to serve well, because if you're just hitting second serves, like, and bad spots, and like he returns too good, that you're going to be in trouble every start of the point. And then same thing on your return, and when he's serving, like, he improved his serve a lot, but I still think it's not like his most natural shot, And you saw him struggle a bit during the tournament and some matches with the percentage of first serve. So that area where, like, if you're able to put some pressure either by having a lot of returns in the court, or even taking cuts at first serve returns, then sometimes you can make him doubt, And on second serve, again, same mentality. Are you a player that's going to say, I don't know, Andy Murray would be like, he's going to put every second serve return. He's not going to, like, go around and, like, hit a huge forehand on any of them, but he's going to make you play every single one of them. Or you're more like, no, I'm going to scare him a few times. That's a different approach, but I think you need to be clear on what you want to do in the first shots. And then in terms of the rallies, like you said, there's really no safe spot. Like, you kind of have to hope that he's going to miss at some point. But for sure, for me at least, it's like you can't let any opportunity go to step in. Like, the guys is too good.
Yeah.
And also, you can't open up the court with no speed, or like with no intention. Like, let's say you give him an angle and he has time, then he has the line open in front of him, or he has back cross with angle and speed. So you really want to make sure that when you give him an angle, it's like he's on the run and he's, like, in a bad position. If not, it's better to play through the middle.
Alcaraz and Sinner. So when we spoke to Milos, as you watched, he said that he doesn't think that those guys are at the level of the big three, big four yet, because of it simply is a matter of duration of how long you can do it.
Yeah.
But now for the past 2 years, they've won every slam. It's like they're kind of showing that they have that consistency, the level of consistency that they can sort of I guess follow in those same footsteps. What do you feel like is the difference between let's say their reign versus like the Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and what can players like you do to sort of spoil their party a little more often?
like I didn't play those guys at their prime. Let's say like Milos would be in a better position. He played them in years that they were really at the top. Especially I think Novak and Rafa. I played them all, but like in the later years of their career. So like for me,
come on, bro, you were like top 20 when you were 13, bro. Like you saw those guys, bro.
I saw them at practice, but yeah, I played Rafa the first time. I was like, you know, on clay, so that I had a bit of a taste of the level. But still, like they were not like, you know, they had the surgeries. Like I don't know, it was past their years where like they had their struggles. So like when I played Roger, I can't sit here and say like I played prime Roger. Like, you know, it was the year he retired. I think.
Fair enough.
His last match at Wimby. So it's like if I'm like Roger compared to Sinner, I'm like Sinner every day. That wouldn't be fair. So like for me, they play, in my experience, like Carlos and these guys, when they play really good, they play probably at a similar level, you know, than what these guys were playing. I think the game is even faster a little bit. Like when you watch like older videos 10 years ago or before, you can see, even if you even like count the time between the average time in the rally that the ball spends in the air, like you'll see it different. So the game is, by a fact, it's quicker. Is it better? Are the guys better tactically, have more tools? I don't know. Because like, I think these guys, what they became masters at is like finding ways to win at like any cost. And that's what made them so consistent. We all know how good Carlos and Sinner can play. But these guys were beating everybody regardless. I mean, if they played really well, it was over. But even on days when they weren't playing that good, I think Rafa, Novak had the ability to find ways to win that we haven't seen again, you know. So that was, and I don't know, that takes years, that takes many tools, that takes, you know, you need to be smart tactically, and also you need to be willing to, it takes courage as well. Like for me, how much courage these guys had mentally, physically at times in their career to dig deep and to accept the level that they were at, but to accept to not play their best, not to play flashy tennis, but to run more, to put more balls in the court, and to really suffer on the court like a bit more than their opponent. That was also credit to them, exceptional. Because like playing, you know how difficult it can be sometimes, but to be willing to do that at any time, at any cost, it was remarkable. So I think that's the difference. But I think I agree with Milos. Over time, we'll see. It's too early to say. And for guys like me and others, I mean, yeah, obviously, we don't want that to happen. And if I was them, like if I was in their position, other guys wouldn't want it to happen either. Like that's the competition. That's how it goes. And that's why I think, like now we're, like you said, we're at the beginning of their dominance, you know, in terms of Grand Slams and everything else, really. But like that's when you see, like me or others talking like this today. Guys 10, 15 years ago were talking like this too, about not letting the big three win everything or Roger and Rafa win everything. So that's when you're like, that it is remarkable how they were able to still dominate, because you had many guys who didn't want this to happen, you know? Tsonga, Berdych, Nishikori, Ferrer, like these guys were elite players. I mean, some of the best in history, but they weren't able to spoil their party. So that's, again, credit to these guys and how good they were.
You mentioned that early on you said something about it can happen these days that a guy not seated in the slums is playing at a really high level. And I think most guys now are pretty much agreeing that maybe the ceiling isn't quite as high, maybe let's say in the top 10, 15, but like the floor is way higher than it used to be. And we were talking the other day on the couch about what's changed in tennis. We speculate it has something to do with the ball a little bit, like the way people are playing. Like the ball's not getting up as much. Like maybe there's a bigger premium on like ball striking, hitting the ball big, like you were saying, taking time. Yeah. And playing a little bit. Guys are playing a little bit tighter to the net, I feel like, than they used to. I feel like you had more guys with more shape the last 10 years. But Darian, he said in a funny way, the movement. He said, if you don't have the sliding backhand, open stance, defensive backhand, you can't get past 300. He said, like, guys move unreal today. Like, I feel like 5 years ago, you could approach backhand and get like weak passes, or like guys could only pass line, or like they would kind of get there and give you like the little slow chip for that comes like just over the net to try that thing. But now when you play big to somebody's backhand, guys, they slide on the left leg, unreal, and they're putting the ball back at like 75, 80 miles an hour, and you have to like keep playing, you know?
The way Darian said it is so funny, bro. He was like, oh, by the way, he's like,
by the way.
basically implied, if you think that you can make it without having that shot, by the way, don't even try it. Like,
in case you're not up to the speed, if you don't have that shot, you can't make it.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, in case you're not locked into the game, that's a requirement now. If you can't do the running open stance, you fucked. Okay, so that's one.
Yeah.
And two, I would say due to the ball as well, maybe, and also tactically, I think guys are ripping the shit out of second serve returns, especially on the backhand. So like where the kick serve used to be like the go-to on the second serve, you just play kick to the backhand and you start the point. I feel like that's not a thing anymore, really. Like guys have such good returns that they're taking a thing out of the sky and they're putting it hard down. They can put it through the middle at your toes. They can put it through the sideline. So I feel like guys are now like, I don't know if they're slicing the second serve, but it's like much more of a forward thing where they're finding body forehands and they're finding, it's much more variety in the second serve where it's more of an aggressive shot. Because I think just the kick is not bouncing enough that it's uncomfortable for guys anymore.
No.
Do you agree with those two statements? And what else do you think has changed?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with those statements for sure. And then also, I think a lot is to do, to the balls the last few years. Like, the balls really changed from the first moments I played ATP tournaments to now. Like, and anybody can debate with me if they want, but like, I think I know my game enough, or I know tennis enough that like, I'm pretty confident in that statement. And maybe one day we're gonna, factories are gonna come out and say like, since COVID, like we had a shortage of this material and, balls were made differently. But for now, we're in, I don't know, we're in the blank. Like, we don't know. But for me, that was a big change because, 2018, 2019, it was never a conversation, the balls. And now it's a conversation every month, how they're not bouncing. I'm here in Shanghai, and after a couple of rallies, the balls are not bouncing, really. Like, so, like you said, now, if you have players playing with this, the game that is like where you're going to hit as hard as you can, or not as hard as you can, but you're going to rip through every ball and you're going to like play flat, it works, where before, like, you could use the speed of the ball, or you could use how it was bouncing to kind of like just hit a chip that would slide well through the air and like, or just like, with your racket, just a little bit of spin and the ball would bounce, so there was more variety. I feel like, it's easier to serve and volley with a ball that's like, it's giving you something. So now guys are switching to more powerful rackets and hitting more through the court with less shape already from the return, because the ball, you have to hit it hard. If you don't hit the ball hard, it's not going to go, or it's not going to have an impact, on the player. So the ball quality has a lot to do. And then that's why, the games are more similar, the game styles. And then what you said on the serve, but that started, I think, a couple of years ago. I was actually having a conversation with Milos coming up on tour. He was like, guys are too good now if you just kick it to their backhand. Like, guys have been doing that since they're 10 years old. Like, kick to the backhand, hit the return. Like, So him, actually, he was very smart with that. Like, from early on, he was mixing up. I mean, obviously, he has probably the best serve in history, in my opinion. But, like, he was really good at mixing up the second serve. And now you see more and more guys do that. Because if you just hit one spot the whole match, I mean, guys are too good. A guy like Sinner will kill you if you do that only.
So good. We aren't just on the couch talking garbage then. We seeing something with a little bit of sense. Good. You had the opportunity of a good few years ago to, I guess, spend some time with Tony Nadal. You added him to the coaching team for a while there. And I think it would be interesting if you could kind of explain to us maybe a little bit his philosophies around tennis and training and, I guess, approaching matches. What did he kind of open your eyes to, if anything? And just kind of your overall experience getting to be with, I guess, what we consider one of the great minds in tennis.
Yeah. The idea at the time was 20, and it was like, I had great people around me, and it was to not remove anybody, but to add somebody that that knew firsthand the standards of the highest level. Because, I mean, everybody knows the theories. A lot of people, I would say. And a lot of people that have watched tennis, that have been around tennis for their whole life, I mean, are very knowledgeable. But as one thing to know the standards of being, let's say, what was he, in the top 10 for basically his whole career? Like, that's a different standard to see every day, to experience, and then to be like, yeah, like, tell a 20-year-old, like, what to prepare for. And then it's my job, or like my challenge, to see if I can do what, you know, he's seen, or with Rafa, you know, or not to do, obviously, but to it's my challenge to see how far I can go, basically. But yeah, it was eye-opening in terms of, like, you know, he was detailed, like, oriented. What I can say from, my experience with him, it was like any mistake I made, he wanted, like, me to say what happened there. Like, he wanted me to be aware of, like, the finest details of, like here, you stop your legs a bit too early, or like you move this too much, and so he was very, actually, like, we always talk about, obviously, the mentality, the values, you know, the work ethic, but he's very technical. Like, that was also, I think, something that people that have gone through the academy or worked with him know, that he actually is very careful about having the right technique. So he helped me with that many times. And then the philosophy part, the talks were always about, we touched about it earlier through Rafa, but it was like you have to find, he wanted me to be obviously more consistent with my results, but it was like you have to find ways to win matches when you're not playing well. He was like, and then we would go through matches and we would look at what would happen and what I could do tactically. And he said, taking his nephew as an example, but he was like, he wouldn't lose a game to adjust. Like, he wouldn't lose time to be, like, really sharp on adjusting quickly. If he missed a return that was, like, not sharp, it was like, okay, change of position, give yourself more time, go deeper. If, I don't know, he made a mistake, like an unforced error, it was like, next point, playing with a lot of margin through the middle, and really be patient and wait for the right ball. Where, like, you know, players or coaches, sometimes you can, like, any mistake, you're just like, it's a mistake. It's one mistake, you know? But some mistakes are good or okay to make, but it's really about having some clarity of, like, what you were trying to do, and are you okay with that mistake? Because, like, if you really were taking a risk and you made a mistake, fine. But if you're not trying to take a risk, and if you're, like, trying to play with margin there and you made a mistake, then you might have to think, okay, like, next point, like I don't want to be making mistakes when I'm trying to just rally, you know? So he was very sharp, you know, on that. And the standard with that was really high. And I can see, like, with the way he was talking, how, yeah, like, if you grew up with him and you had the qualities that Rafa had, I mean, you make a winning machine for sure.
Do you still carry any of that stuff with you today? And, like, what stuff would you carry with you today from your time with him?
You know, it's tough because, like, I think as a player, as a person, like, through all the learnings in your life, like, I had my dad first as a kid, and then I had, like, a couple different coaches, you know, or growing up. And I feel like they're all important to me. Like, they all played an important part. and my current coach, Frederick, we've been together since I'm 16. So, like, he's obviously very important to me, important part of my life and career. But it's tough for me to say today. Like, I feel I've created my own identity or, like, my own thought process, you know? And I feel like now today, or, like, recently on the court, I kind of coach more myself than I am coached, if that makes sense. During matches, at least. Like, during practice, we always talk and we have
like it should be, huh?
conversations. I think so, you know? I think so. And then, like, my Frederick, my coach, was always pretty keen on that, like, and making me more independent, you know, and, like, stronger as a person, as a player, more developed. And then so today, yeah, I feel like I try to give less looks to the box, you know, outside, or to show less doubt, you know, and to kind of figure it out the whole match, and to trust myself that I know enough about my game, about the opponent's game and the tennis in general, that I can make the right adjustments. And so I feel like do I think about Tony's words today? Not a lot, but I know it's there. Like, it's just, I've made my own, you know, my own thoughts, like, about it, or like my own resume in my head.
And maybe your coaches got some of that too. So maybe that message is also maybe baked into some of their talks with you.
Sorry, it was cutting out. You said?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean, I was saying, like, you said you don't think about it like, oh, this is what Tony said, but maybe part of your coaches being around him too, maybe they pick some stuff up from him as well. So maybe indirectly it might be part of your guys' view on tennis anyway. It might just be part of the, let's say, that the puzzle that you guys have been putting together for all these years. It might just be a part of the a couple of those pieces now are just what Tony said back in 20 whatever it was.
Yeah, no, for sure. A few pieces of advice. We stay in touch sometimes, like, and when we see each other, we talk about tennis, about in general, and we talk about my game. So, no, like, he's a great person. You know, I didn't talk about him as a person, but I have a lot of respect for him as a person. He's a great set of values that he gave, obviously, to his kids and obviously to Rafael growing up. But so yeah, he's great. And then I was lucky to learn firsthand with him, to travel with him, and we had good conversations, obviously outside of tennis. So no, I keep in mind some of it, but you know, it's tough to recall, you know, every day. But I think, like you said, it's all part of who you are, you know, once you learn for more than just a couple of weeks with somebody.
Bro, so I would imagine it's tough enough to go up against Rafa on your own, but it must have been a little awkward when you had to play Rafa when Tony was in your corner, and he wasn't shy about saying he was not going to be, I guess, present in that much. What was that experience like for you? Like, is it awkward at all? Is it just like you just understand where everybody stands and it is what it is?
It wasn't for me. That's the thing. Okay. Is like there was a Netflix show, and it was like the whole thing in the show, and which was kind of a shame to me, because it was like I had my best year that year, and there was so much more to say. But I guess, you know, it's Netflix. I understand, and you don't really choose the players. You don't choose everything that's gonna go on. But you know, I had like an amazing streak of wins at the end of the year. You know, that it's not like any player had that year. You know, like 16 wins in a row. So I felt that could have been forwarded more than that one match where it was like he said one thing that people thought, like, this is crazy to say, and then it made a whole buzz, you know. But for us, it was.
And here I go, bringing it back up.
Yeah, no.
Like a plunger.
Like, I don't mind talking about it. It's just that in the moment with the Netflix show, I thought, like, there was other things to talk about too. But we've touched on a lot of things today, so we can talk about this one too.
For sure.
But no, it was clear to us, because when I came to him, he was happy to help me. He was happy to work with me and to travel for a few weeks, big tournaments. But he said, if you play Rafa, I can't sit in the box. And by default, you're like, I can't be rooting for you. You know, like it's not, you didn't have to say it like to me, but it's like, and in my mind, it was like a no-brainer because, I mean, I grew up with my dad coaching me, and Rafa is like his son. Like, you have to understand, like, this is not just like any uncle. It's not like any coach. It's not like what they think. If you think 5 seconds, if you know about tennis, and you think every emotions and everything they've gone through together in their career, like, it's beyond special. So, like, I'm not gonna come in as a 20-year-old with what arrogance I'm gonna expect that, like, I'm gonna get the treatment that, like, if I play his nephew, he's gonna be in my box cheering me on, like, to beat his nephew. Like, so for me, so then I didn't really understand how people were shocked about that. I was like, okay, so people really see it like job over family. Like, there's levels. It's like, yes, I pay him right now, and look, if I beat Rafa, the next day he's gonna be on the court with me again, you know. But like, if 1 day or 2 days in a year, if I play Rafa, like, he's not gonna be in my box. Like, I can live with that. I have my family too. I have my coach. I have my people. You know. So it really wasn't
a reasonable guy.
No, but like, again, I can debate with anybody about this. Like, that were like thought that was normal. Like, I don't to say it. Okay, did he need to say it? You know, maybe not. But like, at least, you know, one thing I will say. Let's say he said it publicly, but he didn't say it to me privately, or like didn't explain it, or like it wasn't clear to us. That's a different story, you know. But like, to say publicly something that you told the person you work with privately when you started, like, for me, it's fair, you know. Then it's, you know, for him to see if he wants to say it. But the match itself was okay. Like, it was we practiced the day before. All together on the court with Tony. So he wasn't like, we were just talking about my game. Like, we weren't really talking like, okay, so tomorrow, like, you're gonna do this and that. Like, yeah, like, it wasn't like you're training like patterns like on the court, like, to play Rafa, like, and he's like guiding the practice. But no, he was good. He was fair with me, and then the match I felt normal. Like, I didn't feel awkward. It was more just, okay, you're playing Rafa center court French Open. Like, that's more special than anything, you know. And then you obviously was just super pumped about that.
I don't know if we've had anybody who's played Rafa on Philippe Chatrier on the pod yet. What is that like? What's that matchup like? Going against the clay goat in his living room there.
Yeah. Well, the morning of, you're just thinking like I hope I'm gonna make a decent match. Really, like, because it looked like. I mean, you have to think. I won my first match at the French Open that year. Like, I played good on clay in other tournaments, like here and there, but it wasn't like. Yeah, like, I had struggled to win a match at the French Open. Took me, I don't know, maybe my third time. Third time. So, like, I won my first match, battle, 5 sets, and then get to Rafa, and it's like, okay, I'm in the 4th round, but like, let's just hope we make a decent match out of it. But, I don't know, the adrenaline was so high, and like, I don't know, the excitement, the level of attention on every point, because, you know, like, I was well aware of like the type of standards I was facing, and I was like, I can't give him anything. Like, I can't show any also like weakness or doubt, like, even if I'm feeling tired or whatever. So I was just trying to like take it to him at every chance I had, like, play my way, but like at really focused level, and like any mistake, I was trying to be careful. I was like, okay, I can make mistakes. Obviously, I'm gonna, like, the level of risk is gonna be high, but, you know, try to be careful, not making obviously too many stupid choices. But he started off a bit nervous, and right away, like, I was feeling good. So I took the lead early, and he wasn't hitting deep. He wasn't hitting clean. He was kind of, like, playing a bit tight. So, and I served well the whole match. So that helped, obviously. But, yeah, like, I took the upper hand. But then after, like, I quickly realized, like, in the like, you know, you win a first set, but you're like, I'm so far from winning. Like, it's crazy. You know? It's like, and against other players, you're like, okay, this is like, the plan is working, like, everything's on track. Like, you win the first set, you're like, okay, we're in a good place. But him, I was like,
we're just getting started, baby.
Just getting started, really, because it's not like you know, like, he's gonna give you like an easy game, but you're like, okay, I won the first set, like, maybe, you know, if I get lucky, he plays a bad game in the second set, I run away with it. Like, you knew that from that moment on, okay, you won the first set, like, I'm not giving you anything anymore. Like, so, like, he started playing so much better quickly in the second set, and as soon as he took a break, the level was, yeah, like, I was like, I don't know where to play. Like, really, because if I didn't, like, get a short ball after my serve, or like a unreturned serve, it was like, if we get into a rally, because, like, it wasn't like the back end he was hitting short. People, like, talk about his forehand a lot, but you have to remember at the end of his career how good he was hitting the back end. Like, younger maybe, but, like, at the end, the back end was almost going faster and yeah, like, faster to the court than the forehand. So,
okay, so nasty. Yeah.
As soon as he had the open court, he would open me to my forehand. If I played a bit short, the next ball he would run around wherever it was in the court. And then after, once he starts hitting forehands in a row, like, it felt that if he hits 3 forehands in a row, I'm losing this point. And I'm generous, like 2 even. Like, such bad, like, such bad positions with 2 forehands is crazy.
There's a guy out there who's not quite Rafa when it comes to this trivia thing. His name is Jody Maginley, and he's going to be going up against you, Felix, right now in some tennis.
I'm on a winning streak.
Some tennis trivia. He's on a streak of 1, so he's almost Rafa.
He's starting.
He's almost there. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you can end it. You can spoil his party a little bit. So how this works is we're going to go first to 3 correct answers. I'm going to read a question out, and once you think you know the answer, you can interrupt me if you want. You shout the answer out. If you're wrong, Jody can rebut. If he's wrong as well, you can both answer one more time. If you guys are both wrong twice, we go to the next question. And first to 3 correct answers wins. And
all right.
Question number 1. Who am I? Career high, number 4. 1 singles Grand Slam title at the US Open. Romanian parents. Nope. Romanian parents. Canadian woman.
God.
Plays with head and wears Nike. Jody, this is crazy.
This is bad?
That's so bad.
I went too quick with it.
Wait, you said Romanian? You said what? Romanian?
She's of Romanian descent. She's Canadian. She is a woman. She plays with head rackets, and she is sponsored by Nike clothing.
Jody, can you wake up here?
This is crazy, bad. This is so bad.
And also, it's not like 10 Canadian women.
Yeah, how many Canadians have won slumps?
This is shocking.
You're just blanking.
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds here. 5,
This is gonna
4,
piss me off. This is gonna
3,
upset me.
2, 1. Take it away, Felix.
Bianca Andreescu.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'll take the point.
That's 1-0. That's 1-0 Aliassime.
Is that really that crazy?
That's very crazy.
Why?
What do you mean, why? That was a
Especially the
huge
link,
thing like 3 years ago when she won that. That was huge. Anyway.
Shout out to Andrescu. Congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats.
come on the pod. Yeah, Jody's really a big fan. It would be great to have you on. He's really tapped in. Question number 2. Question number 2. I'm going to give you a player.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me his ranking. The guy closest to the ranking gets the point. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina.
Oh, shit. I'm going to do my classic tactic again. Felix, go first, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Bro is probably counting down every single ranking from 1 going
No,
to
I'm not.
spot.
I'm not at all. I don't watch the ranking like
Fokina, huh?
Fokina. I'm gonna go 16. Guy's been having a year.
The answer is 20. The answer is 20.
20.
He's lucky. He's so lucky.
Oh
He would have guessed 47 or some dumb shit.
1-1, bro. 1-1.
1-1. I guess you guys leveled the playing field there. All right.
Come on now. Come on.
If this podcast recording began at 9:02 and finished at 10:13, how long is the recording?
Now we're 11.
An hour and 11 minutes, folks.
Wow. I was going to 7. Okay. All right.
2-1. 2-1. Okay. I want
But,
you.
okay, that's like fucking like not normal. Like I was gonna go like 71 minutes. Like I was going
It would
to
have
go
been right.
into like.
And it would have been right. And it would have been correct, brother.
See this whole
It would've been right.
Minutes.
Minutes.
You know what
I
I mean?
said how long? It could be minutes, hours, however you want to do it, just be right. And you didn't even answer.
Yeah.
So, question number 4, 2-1, Aliassime. I want you to tell me the name of the song by the lyrics. Broke up with my girl last night, so I went to the club. Put on a fresh white suit and the Mini Coupe sitting on dubs. Bartender T-Pain. 2-2, baby.
Come on.
Oh my
The
god.
guy
yeah.
knows his music.
Yeah,
The
no.
guy.
I was,
She bought us drinks to drink. We don't
No.
come, got drunk.
Here we go.
Okay.
T-Pain,
Okay.
you said?
T-Pain, brother.
The winning streak continues
I'm
here right
at
now.
the
Good.
bartender. You know that song?
No, I don't know. Buy you a drink,
Crazy.
yeah, but that one, no.
Crazy.
So we're 2-2 now.
2-2.
It's a rigged game for me, apparently.
This is for the French Open title. Okay. In what year
Oh shit.
did Daniel Medvedev win the U.S. Open over Novak
22.
Djokovic?
2021. Yeah, you gave me an easy one there.
I gave it to you both, brother. It was a question for the room. And
No,
only
but
you
yeah, I
answered.
know, but
And only one man.
When you played the guy in that semifinals,
This
like,
is
he
fucked.
remembered you.
Exactly. Thank you very much. At
Oh,
least someone.
you played him in the semis. Tough,
You know why I
tough.
respect you? You know why I respect you? Because you win with grace. I appreciate that, bro. Because that's ridiculous.
The other question would have been, at what temperature does water boil, Jody?
100? But I'm in Celsius.
Yeah, 100, yeah. Did you see the Ziaz and Bilou thing?
No,
Whatever,
what do you
doesn't matter. Anyway, Felix, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining us today, yo. For the audience that doesn't know, we've been in contact with Felix, I think, probably close to a year, maybe.
Since Miami Open,
No.
I think.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and yeah, you've been, obviously very generous to come on and join us today, and you've been great. We had a
Man,
good
it's my
time.
pleasure.
Battled the Wi-Fi together, so it was good.
Bro,
And,
this is going to be a great episode to watch because I'll be watching it for the first time too. Because this whole
Yeah, me too.
conversation, I ask a question and I just shake my head like I hear what's going on. I hear nothing. I don't hear nothing, brother. So it's going to be fun to watch this one.
The Chinese data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. It was great. But before you get out of here, we'd love to know, based on your experience here with us today, who do you think would be a good fit to come on the Changeover Podcast?
I was
that you can help us get, preferably.
Bianca Andres.
Ben Shelton has not yet come on this podcast, no.
It'd be good. I think you want to get young players, or like guys with stories too, actually. Now that I think about it. Shelton is a young player on tour right now. He's got momentum right now. He's big, so he's having, a great year. His best year so far, so cool to have him on. And then guys like, Johnny Mac would be unreal.
John Mac
I don't know
would be
if
unreal.
you can get in touch with J Mac.
Mr. Everybody's a journeyman. I would love to talk to Johnny Mac.
No, he's got some story.
Why is every single player a journeyman, Mr. Mac?
Literally, it would be a 4-hour episode. Like,
yeah, I would love it.
If he wanted to. Or he could be out after 30 minutes. I don't know, but honestly.
Give us 15 minutes and he said, fuck this shit. Yeah. Yes, brother. Many thanks, brother. Congrats on the wedding again. Shout out to Dior for the suits. You look sharp, my boy.
Yes,
good luck in Shanghai and the rest of the year, bro.
Thank you.